appear in a given data. For example, we are still using our above example. So what we do, just simply click on print. In this print, we are going to do something. Okay, we talk about numbers. That's the name of the tuple created. Dot, and we put in the bracket. Okay, dot. Then we'll count. In the tuple we are created, we want to count the number of times a particular element appears. So let's choose 2 and see what will be our action from the given code 2, and shift enter. See that 2 appear 4 times. Okay, let's use our cursor to count 1, 2, 3, then 4. Okay, 2 appear 4 times. So if you want to check, can pick any number for choice from the given tuple that were created using the name number. So let's choose another number. Okay, print number dot count. Let's continue on the count. Okay, let's choose 1 this case. Okay, you can choose 1, you can choose 3, you can choose 4, you can choose any number. But now I just want to choose 1. Shift enter, we'll see. Shift enter. Okay, name error because we didn't add s to our numbers. That will be corrected. Okay, shift enter. So then 1 appear 3 times as the case may be. So tuple is very useful in this regard. The next way we can do is talk about index. We have done that before in our previous class. How to access the position of an element in a given data. Okay, in a given data that we'll call index. The next operation we'll talk about tuple unpacking. And what I want to do, tuple unpacking tuple in tuple unpacking tuple. Okay, unpacking means you can separate each element in a given tuple by using the unpacking methods. So how do we do that? Very simple. We want to create some. Okay, we want to create a dimension. We can use dimension. Okay, let's use the word dimension as the case may be. Dimension is equals to dimension. Let me say 250 and then 500. But we want to say this dimension is made up of length times breadth as the case may be, or height times width as the case may be. So let's see what we're going to do, but we know weight. Right, is equals to dimension. Okay, what's the dimension? So what we do now in this place, if you want to print each of them separately, you want to unpack, they want to separate the element. So firstly, what we do, you click on width. The first print will give us the value of width alone, while the second print also talk about the value of the height. So print height. Okay, so if we run this simple code, see that our answer will be 250 and 500 as the case may be. So that's one thing about tuple is very useful, very useful. And see it just unpack it, so it's separated each of the element of the tuple dimension, since each of the element has their uniqueness. So width has the value of 250, the height has the value of what, 500. So when we unpack it separated, then as the case may be. So what is now the difference between tuple and links? For example, tuple are immutable, links are mutable. Tuple are created with normal bracket, that is the circle bracket. Lists are created with square bracket. In performance, tuple are faster than list. Tuple are more efficient than list. The methods, tuple have fewer methods, just count and index, but lists have many methods, append, remove, as the case may be. There are so many. So these are the few things we learned today about tuple. Let's give a summary of what we have learned so far. We talk about tuple operations and method. We talk about concatenation a tuple, combining two or more sub data to become a larger one. So we created a tuple, we name it y and a data of z. So we created a larger data and called it com, means abbreviation or combination of y plus z. When we print it, our result was displayed. Okay, repetition of element in a given data, or just simply repetition. Now we created a tuple and call it gender, and in that tuple we have boy. We want boy to appear 5 times. We run the simple code and we get what we have in the simple code. So boy appear 5 good times. Membership testing. To show that if a particular element exists in a given data, it's a it's a nice method that we can use in tuple. So how do we do this? We run a simple code. We created a data, named the data numbers, and in the numbers we have different numerical figure from 1 to 9 as the case may be, but some of them appear many times. To show that a particular element exists in our given data, we use print. We choose the number 8 in numbers. We found out that it was true. Good. Now we run a code again, which shows run the code again, which shows if is it okay? Here's where we are. Run the code again, we print 10 in numbers. It shows false because 10 was not created in our data, so it's not a member of the data, so that's why the result was false. The count method in tuple, simply use count and the circle bracket to show the number of times a particular element appears in a given data. So we print numbers.count2. We find out that 2 from the tuple created that we name numbers. We find out 2 appear 4 times. When we run the code, it gave us the exact answer. Also use the same method to find the number of times 1 appear. When we run the code, it also gave us the same. Unpacking a tuple, we created a tuple called dimension. We have 2 elements, width and height, but we want to print each of these elements separately. So we firstly define that width and height is equals to dimension. So when we print width and the height of it, it gives us their respective value. So these are the few things we talk about tuple today. Have a nice day. See you in the next class. Good day.